Welcome back to my Ombre and Sashiko quilt series. We're moving on to the next block, which features a circle pattern stitched in Sashiko, but first I'm quickly showing you a variation of the block from my last video. So stick around if you're curious, or skip ahead to today's block. I'm only showing a very little bit of this one because it's actually just the same patterns as I used on the previous one that I did. It's the same circular cutout and applique with the concentric circles in it. And then I don't know whether you can see this pattern here that I've drawn on, but even though this won't look the same when it's finished, it was exactly the same way of starting the design with the circle and the lines drawn across. I'm just going to do a larger circle in the center here and Sashiko. I'll show you it finished, but I just didn't want to do a repeat of exactly the same process as I've done for another block. I do particularly like this block. I like this particular pattern that's really made by just straight line Sashiko stitches formed in this circle. Can you see that? And of course I didn't show sewing it because it really is the same as I did on the darker square. I showed you on the last video. So there was no point in showing it again, but I didn't make this one exactly the same. Let's move on and get started with today's block. This pattern's going to start with the centre circle and then I'm going to draw around it. I've centred my circle on here, drawn around it, and I've just marked these lines. This is just a guide so that I can place things evenly. This is nice dark fabric, so the white will show up good on it. Now I'm going to find the right size that fits in between, and corner to corner from these white markings using the white central line, I'm going to draw these as circles around. And I'm just going to mark that centre point as well. It might be useful for just knowing where the centre point is depending on what I decide to do on the next row. Line there is a little bit faint. Let's make it so I can see through the orange. The next one I'm going to do goes well. Yep, close enough. Alright, so that'll give me a good start for my Sashiko there. And now I'm just going to do another row of these. Oh, one more. Almost missed it. Okay, I think that'll make a pretty good Sashiko pattern. I'm going to go do the Sashiko on this one, and I'll also mark the pale one and do the Sashiko on that. This is the lighter square pattern that I'm doing in the same pattern as the dark. I use this friction heat erasable pen for this one. So Put my thimble on and start some Sashiko here. I'm going to do this central circle first. Started with a knot. Let's just sew here with some nice even stitches. This is very dark fabric, so I hope you can see it in this light okay. And I'm using the same Sashiko technique that I always do, loading the stitches onto the needle, pulling it through, and then doing my tension control. This is going to be quite a short video because really I'm just showing you the pattern drawing, and the Sashiko is the same for the other blocks. So I'll do a little bit of this, but mostly I'll just show you what it looks like when it's finished. I just made this pattern up obviously as I went along. I had an idea of what I was going to do before I began, and my main aim for all of this quilt was to make circular patterns. You know, you can do your own, you can design your own patterns and make them up. If you don't want to, there are loads of templates on the market that you can buy and use those. In this central space I could do something else. Most of the spaces though I have kind of left fairly hollow in the middle. Not every single one, but I think on the Japanese quilt or fabric that I was inspired by for this, the centres are all hollow on that one. But I've varied that a little bit. I'm not doing an exact copy, you know, it was just something I really liked and it was an inspiration. I really want to get on and get this finished now. The next time you see this, all of this will be done. The dark one is finished, and that's what it looks like. I'm still deciding whether to put more Sashiko on there or not, but at the moment I like it the way it is. So I've drawn this out. For this one I've used a friction, just a friction dark pen. I didn't say before, but the circles that I used, the large one in the centre is a 4-inch. The smaller one for the little flowery edges is a 1.5, and then this is part of a 3. It's just the very edge of a 3 to get the right sized curves. And for this one I think I'm going to use this variegated thread, and I've tried to use this variegated thread on another area, but somehow or other the colour faded into the background, so the pattern didn't show very well. But on this particular one it's less of a match anywhere, so I'm going to do this and I'll just see what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and Sashiko that. I'm not going to do it on camera because it's just the same as the other one. So this is the second of those 2 blocks that are just the same. What do you think? Do you think it's too light? It's a bit light, isn't it? These are the 2 side by side. I need to press them. But I think you can see there how on the dark blue the white shows up much clearer than it does on the lighter colour. When I fit it into the quilt, I'm afraid that might look a little bit too pale, so I'll decide later. I may do some extra dark stitching in the paler coloured one there. So here's a view of, you can see some of the quilt with the blocks hung closer together. The general idea of how it's going to look. That one does look a little bit light. Definitely going to do some dark reinforcing on that. Like the original, this is not quite a straightforward ombre. It's a little different. Just a few blocks left to do now, so if you want to see more, please subscribe.